Before I get started talking about this topic today, this can be something that's sensitive for a lot of people. However, I find that most of you that have found my channel are already on the journey where this information may not be so uncomfortable. For me, it is very enlightening. It's digging deeper into the fabric of our creation and one step closer to understanding what's going on here, why things are happening the way they are, why people get sick, why we have these challenges and tribulations and all that sort of thing. So stick around to the end. If you could subscribe, comment, whatever. I want to build community around my channel and the subjects I talk about, because I know it's going to be important. If you're uncomfortable about talking about what you feel like are drugs and altering states or anything of that effect, then this might not be the best video for you. This subject is Ibogaine. And if you're not familiar with Ibogaine, Ibogaine is a very strong root. It's called the grandfather of the psychedelics, for lack of a better term. And somebody extremely close to me just completed a retreat it's called the Beyond Center, BEOND. And this is where a lot of vets will go. I've known of former NFL players that have gone for brain trauma to start the healing process. I like to call these medicines, which I think will hit mainstream at some point. Like I've said in my past video of my experience with 5-MeO, these are not things to just go take recreationally. They're very serious, they're very sacred medicines. They're not meant to be used. A lot of the indigenous peoples did not just take them to take them. They saw them as reverent. They saw them as if they were having a really, really challenging time in life, they could go speak to the medicine. I think there's a lot of people abusing psychedelics in our world right now. I always say, and I'm not going to recommend doing any of these to you, but the only way I would ever, and this is my own experience, do something is if it was being called to me naturally, intuitively, and not reaching for something. And also somebody who's already been on that journey. What Ibogaine does, a lot of people say, is you close your eyes and it essentially gets your heart rate and your blood pressure up and going, from what I understand, which is why it's really important to have a staff, like a nursing staff or medical staff on site, to stop any complications and whatnot. So anyways, they explain it as kind of like a life review. So you close your eyes and it's almost like watching a film screen as film goes by, and it's recounting all these situations in your life as if you are kind of a bird's eye view or looking at yourself from the outside, and you're able to understand it. And this is from what I understand, the only medicine that you can speak to it and ask it questions as well. So I want to say the life review type situation is for the first few hours, and then you get into where you can ask it questions. And I'm not the end-all be-all resource for this, so obviously you can learn from other videos. But so essentially I've heard a few different stories. Like one guy I knew would take all those good things and throw them back in his heart, and the bad things would flow away, but he would learn from them. It's almost as if you're conscious having a conversation with your subconscious. If you ask the medicine for something, it can bring things up. If you're curious, it's going to give you exactly what you need, and that's what happens with these medicines. Is it gives you exactly what you need, and that's my experience with 5-MeO. Essentially, this individual that I'm extremely close to, this was his experience. He started having a life review essentially at the beginning, And it lasted for about 3 hours. And he thought he was done. So he got up, he went to the bathroom. You can actually take the blindfold off and go to the bathroom, and you can kind of stop the medicine. But when you, for to a certain extent, I don't know how that works, but like, not literally stop it, but it's still in your system. When you come back and put the blindfold on, it just keeps going again. So he thought he was done, and mind you, this is like a 12 plus hour journey. And so this is not something that it just stops. So this individual came back to their bed, and he closed his eyes, put the blindfold on, and all of a sudden he started feeling this, like, it's almost like this vat, this skillet, this hot iron from the top of his head all the way down to his feet. And then it came around to the front of his body. And he said it was the most excruciating pain, but that was all the stuff that was stuffed, all the shadows that were stuffed down inside of his soul, inside of his spirit, that he hadn't dealt with, and he was just, stuffing down. And what they say with this medicine is for it to work, you really need to, feel into it and don't push it away. And so, one thing I took away from this was, and when what he told me, he said, I've been sick I've been getting sick for 40 years because I've been stuffing things down. And this was all the stuff. It was just that was melting everything off of me. It's like he felt like he was on fire. And as soon as he put that blindfold on, he started to take his shirt off. He was sweating profusely. And, what was interesting about this was what I related to. I've been going through my own health journey. And one thing that we were designed for was sweat is to get the toxins out of our body. I had this realization that God, source, creator, Jesus, whatever you want to call our highest, designed us in a way that we could expel these things in our body, in our earthly body, by sweat, by perspiration. It was so interesting that when you feel into those feelings, and he was literally sweating, these things that were stuffed inside of him started to evaporate, essentially. That everything he was holding on to was peeling off of him. Even though it was painful, which a lot of people describe with Ibogaine, is you have to sit with it and move through it and not push it away. That is where the real healing comes. It's so amazing to me, that's just kind of how the experience was. And I've heard that from another individual as well, who had the experience that he felt like he was on fire. He was able to ask questions, and he asked a question. He was like, can you show me Jesus on the cross when he was crucified? And the medicine was, they say the medicine's got a sense of humor. And the medicine was like, are you sure you want to see this? Are you sure you want to see this? And he said, yes. The way he described it was, he was shot to the scene of Jesus' resurrection. And it felt like it was just like you were to be talking to somebody like this. If you were talking to me, he said it was as real as this is, as we are in this moment. And he said he looked up and he saw Jesus on the cross, and there was a ton of people around. It was like he was in the scene. The dagger was enthralled into his midsection, and he said Jesus roared like a lion, nothing like he'd ever heard any human do. That was a very moving experience for him and healing experience for him. Now, the individual that went, that I'm extremely close to, that he said there was a young woman there whose father was a pastor, and he sent her down to this location. You would think, just with society, that for a pastor to send a daughter to this sort of a thing would be kind of looked down upon, right? Which is the crazy world we live in. We box things up and say, this is bad, this is not as bad, this is, a drug, this is gonna mess you up. Like, that's not how it is. As long as it's integrated the right way, it's medicine, it is true, it's natural medicine that was made by our God, our creator. So she went, and her experience was a little bit different in the sense that she had like 30 questions written down that she wanted answered, and she wanted to ask all of them. It didn't really work that way. The medicine does what it wants to, and it gives you what you need. And she said she went to the bathroom, kind of same thing, came back. She was shot straight into hell, or what she perceived as hell, what she knew as hell. And what I'll tell you, when you take these medicines, we have this intuitive sense inside of our spirit, soul. We know, we are so connected. We know what is and what isn't. And then after that, she was shot straight up into, maybe you call it heaven. And she looked up, and Jesus was standing open arms right in front of her. What I took away from this was our universe, our earth, the humans around us, we are all part of something so divine. And it is absolutely incredible. We can't even fathom the love and the watch that's over us. We are so important. We are meant for divinity, for love, for pure positivity, and I guess you can call it ascension. So I don't know what you'll take away from this, but if you're on a healing journey, this vessel is so important to us. And I know that from my own illness, my own sick journey, and what I experienced through 5-MeO was, we really need to take care of these vessels in our souls, because we can't ascend in the way that feels pure and whole if we don't take care of our own mind, body, and spirit and soul. If this helped you, or if you resonate, please follow. I'm building community here. So hope you have a wonderful, blessed day full of gratitude.
No manual, no brochure, just a little boy with plenty questions. Too weird to fit in, too fast to stay one place, casted out. Family, friends, society, them say man, no they do like that. They no agree, tell me why 3 decades and a half I lost myself. Just to remember I am safe. I am safe to be me. I am safe to ride the waves of my emotions. I am safe. I know I'm safe to be me. I am safe. I am safe to be free. I am am safe. To build a world for me, myself, and I am safe. I know I'm safe to be me. Hey. Papa no day from start. Mama say enemies go kill you. Auntie say boy you dey useless. Like say I no be human being. Kito one time, Kito two times. Boss, left, right, center. Doctor say maybe he go survive. Pastor pray the gay away. Mama talk say you don't join bad gang. So I took a trip to hell only to be I'm safe. I'm safe to be me. I'm safe to ride the waves of my emotions. I'm safe. I know I'm safe to be me. I'm safe. I am safe to be free. I'm safe to build a world for me, myself, and I am safe. I know I'm safe to be me. But I have no hate in me. The struggle now him sets me free. I rule my world now. I pray